All right, you guys, welcome back once more. You already know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, as y'all need to learn how to tame y'all dragons. Because y'all dragons is just out of control. Meaning your kids, your teenagers. And if they're doing fuck shit as a teenager, what do you think they're going to be doing when they get into their 20s and 30s? More fuck shit. Raping people and shit. It's like, a lot of y'all kids ain't worth a damn. Let's just be real. But let's see what happened with this Oklahoma teen. He sounded like he had some mental issues. And a lot of times you guys are a product of your own environment. It all starts in the home. So let's get it on.
Of rape by instrumentation, and you'll have to use your imagination about what that means. But yeah, it is literal.
Just your imagination. Of what? Shit.
1 count of sexual battery. 1 count of forcible oral sodomy. 2 counts of domestic assault and battery by strangulation. And 1 count of domestic assault and battery. And while there were even more and way bigger charges that the state likely could have thrown at this kid, like...
He saw his dad doing that shit to his mama. That's what it was. Nah, I'm joking. This kid has some mental issues. It's pretty obviously whoever was parenting him couldn't handle him. But put this mofo in a mental hospital, please.
Attempted murder. The 2 alleged victims and their families had every reason to believe that the wheels of justice were hard at work on this case, both for them and for the accused, Jesse Mack Butler. And before I tell you what ended up happening, let me tell you why he faced those specific charges, what he actually did to those 2 girls. You should know that these details are extremely graphic.
First of all, he actually dated 2 of the girls. So he had some kind of game if he quote unquote was with them. But I guess when things didn't work out, that's when things started to take a violent turn with them.
They are despicable, but they are critical to this story, especially when you find out how the judge came down in this case. So fair warning, trigger warning, what I'm about to list out for you is very uncomfortable to say and to hear. A police affidavit says a girl who's identified only as LS because she's a minor dated Jesse Butler for about 3 months, starting in January of last year. She was 16 at the time. And during that time, the victim said Butler repeatedly raped and attempted to rape her and would strangle her if she refused.
Okay, so my thing is she's 16, right? You mean nobody, or her family or her friends didn't know nothing about this? She had no kind of man figure in her life that could protect her, meaning like no brothers, no father. This is why it's important for, it takes a village to raise a child, right? This is why it's important to have a village of both men and women. So you could lose me with all that shit about you could raise kids all by yourself as a single mother. You don't need no man, da da da. Yeah, you don't need a man until there's some asshole raping your daughter. Yeah. So y'all sound real stupid saying that shit as a single parent.
The teenage girl needed surgery to repair the damage done to her neck by the strangulation.
Jeez.
And her doctor told her that she would have died had that strangulation lasted another 30 seconds. The girl said that she gave in to Jesse Mack Butler because he threatened to kill her.
He sounded like Charles Manson. Like women just wanted to be under his command. I wouldn't say want, but how did not anybody not know about this? Like, how was this kept quiet? Or nobody knew about it. If they did, they didn't believe it.
And he threatened to kill her family if she didn't give in.
And she did have family. This happens a lot in well-off families. Fuck shit.
A separate affidavit says in March of last year, Butler took up with another 16-year-old girl identified only as KS. And that relationship lasted 6 months, but this teenager also said that Butler was aggressive and violent with her and says she went along with all the unwanted sex to avoid being hurt further. This victim also said that one time when she did refuse, Butler strangled her too. But get this, he recorded himself strangling her until she passed out. And lest you think this might be just a he said, she said, police later found that video on
I bet you this dude don't even know how to fight. Like, all this stuff that he did to these women, he wouldn't do it to a dude. And I bet you this dude is only like 5'4". Little man with all this attitude.
Jesse Mack Butler's phone. So that's what we call evidence. Jesse Butler pleaded not guilty to everything, as was his right off the bat. But in the coming months, for reasons that I will not pretend tonight to understand, the DA's office struck a deal with Butler's lawyers to change his status from adult to youthful offender. The victim's families begged the DA, please do not do that, please.
Those are adult charges. He should have been charged as an adult. So because of his age and because of his skin color, he gets less time. All right, I got it. And this is privilege at best.
No. But in July, a judge decided to sign off on this. And in August, Jesse Mack Butler changed his plea from not guilty to no contest, meaning he knew there was ample evidence to convict him. And you should know that a conviction is the result of a no contest plea, right? That's what you get, convicted. By the way, I mentioned there were 10 counts before, but by August, there was one more. So the grand tally now stood at 11. The new count was for violating a protective order, which, oh my God, facing 10 felony counts and violating a protective order should have been a hell of a red flag for anybody.
You hear that? Anybody, regardless of
somebody. But the very same day that happened, Butler was sentenced to 78 years in prison, which sounds like a fitting punishment for somebody who nearly kills 2 teenage girls and rapes them repeatedly with all sorts of things. But as a youthful offender, Jesse Mack Butler was also entitled to special treatment, like a rehabilitation plan, which was drawn up by the Oklahoma Office of Juvenile Affairs.
Are you serious? He almost killed 2 girls. And he gets offered rehabilitation services? Lock this mofo up. Quit wasting time on some scroungy little punk.
And that plan was presented to the court last week. This new punishment called for daily check-ins, weekly counseling, a curfew, no social media, and 150 hours of community service.
Wow, that's like taking the Xbox away. That's all he gets? His parents could have gave him this shit.
Bam. They really brought down the hammer, huh? 150? Oh, that's like 3 weeks if you work really hard.
And at his age, he's done way more than the average 40 or 50-year-old in crimes, if you think about it. A 40-year-old criminal, the average 40-year-old criminal don't even have those type of charges on them. That's the funny part. So as a full adult, this punk ass kid has done way more than a 40-year-old criminal. Just think about that. This is how sick the world is, or this is just America.
This new plan is scheduled to stay in effect until Jesse Mack Butler turns 19. And that, my friends, is less than a year from now. So, wow, long punishment.
All right, I had enough. This is just a reminder of how stupid people in law are. Anyway, this is Kyle Lavello. I'm going to leave the clip in the description if you want to check it out without my interruptions. But whatever. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.